West Asia is the final frontier for global powers. If you have a foothold in West Asia, you've arrived on the international scene. There are two reasons for this. One is oil. 30% of the world's crude output comes from here. West Asia is the world's gas station. It is where countries go when they need a top-up. They have waged wars over a sniff of petroleum, which brings us to the second reason. Power plays. West Asia is the land of proxy wars. Domestic groups are inevitably backed by regional powers, and these regional powers are backed by superpowers. Yemen is probably the best example. So for countries with global ambitions, West Asia is a geopolitical board game. Which brings us to India and China. Both countries have global ambitions. The Iran deal is China's bugle call. It has officially entered the arena. But what does it mean for India? Where does the deal leave India and its strategic interests? Look at where India stands right now. It has maintained excellent ties with the region. The cornerstone of this relationship is neutrality. India is not party to the West Asian Cold War. For India, both Iran and Saudi Arabia are key partners. And for a region that has been invaded, colonized, and subjected to years of foreign interference, neutrality is a welcome change. But in 2015, the Ministry of External Affairs made an important clarification. India's neutrality in West Asia must not be confused with passivity. As a developing economy, India's biggest concern is oil. Before American sanctions, Iran supplied 10% of India's oil needs. In 2019, the trade was halted. Donald Trump brought the hammer down on Iran, and India had no option but to comply. But Trump is not president anymore. His successor is a more conventional politician. Joe Biden helped seal the Iran nuclear deal in 2015, and he wants to save it now at all cost. If Biden lifts the sanctions on Iran, the oil trade will resume. But he's unlikely to do so. Biden wants Iran to comply with the agreement first. Tehran says, remove the sanctions and then we'll see. So the sanctions are not disappearing overnight. Plus, there's an election around the corner in Iran. The hardliners are eyeing the presidency. If they win, chances are the deal will be abandoned, which brings us back to China. Like most Chinese partners, Iran needs Beijing's checkbook, not its brotherhood. The moderates in Iran are desperate to revive the economy. It's the only way they are going to win the election. And China is willing to pay. So Iran and China, you see, are not natural partners. What unites them is their hatred for the Americans, not exactly what you would call shared interests. It's a fragile relationship. And India should be mindful of this. New Delhi can utilize this thaw in US-Iran relations. It is the perfect opportunity to double down. But before that, the Chabahar port must be completed. The port is India's trump card in Iran. The shipping minister says full-scale operations in Chabahar will start by May. India is developing 2 terminals in exchange for a decade of operational rights. Chabahar is India's route to Central Asia. It is critical for India's designs in the region. It bypasses the hassle of dealing with Pakistan. Last year, the port was used to send 75,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan. When locusts invaded Iran, India dispatched 25 tons of pesticide, again via the Chabahar port. And this is all part of India's Central Asia outreach, a region sandwiched between China and West Asia. A robust Indian presence here will be key to stemming China's rise. Now, here's the first thing that you need to know about Central Asia. This land is crisscrossed by pipelines. It is a major transit zone, a link between oil producers and oil consumers. The International North-South Transport Corridor aims to build on this. India, Iran, Russia, and 10 Central Asian nations are part of the project. The vision is a 7,200-kilometer-long network of roads, rail, and waterways. All indications are that the great game is back. But this is the 21st century edition. There are new players, and India is one of them. Central Asia is not uncharted territory for India. Since the 3rd century, trade has been common. Both regions were key stops in the Silk Route. Not just goods, even Buddhism spread across the Hindu Kush. The peoples of Central Asia and India were always friends. They just need to rekindle their relations. But time is of the essence. Central Asia is key to China's Belt and Road Initiative too. Its leaders are enthusiastic about it. Not because of the economic prospects alone, but the scope of corruption on the ground. Anti-China sentiments are brewing. If Central Asia mobilizes against China, it could block Beijing's road to West Asia. It's a developing story. We'll keep track. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.